Hey guys, so today I'm gonna have a tutorial on how to manage your inventory for late game and arc raiders. Had a few friends that joined the game recently, and I know it's a really daunting task to kind of start the game and kind of know what to keep and come out with the raid with, or what to scrap, or if it's safe to scrap. Um, I found this really useful image online, so I'm gonna link it in the description as kind of like a cheat sheet. But it shows basically what you need for your workbench upgrades, what you need for quests, expeditions, and etc. And then also has a small list of what items are safe to scrap. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into my game. Okay. So first of all, let me just show you this picture and kind of explain it. So this is the image that'll be linked in the description. These are what you need for quest and the expedition on the top two. These are what you need for your workbench upgrades. So once you have the base amount of these, you're free to scrap all these. Um, these are all safe to recycle. These are all basically safe to recycle once you finish your workbenches and have them worked out. But the sheet might be last expedition. I don't know if this is updated. I think they changed a couple items, so if it has changed, I will put the newer image in the description. But that is kind of an easy way to kind of see what you are safe to scrap until you start noticing and can pick out for yourself what's safe to keep or not. Okay, so the basic of inventory management. So first of all, you're gonna want to max out your stash. Do a couple loot runs with free kit. Sell everything until you have enough money to max out your stash, because that is super important. Running out of stash space sucks. So the most important items in the game are going to be the base materials, and then springs. Springs are used for a couple higher tier items for crafting, and also for weapon attachments. Metal is probably going to be the second most used resource, just because it's used for upgrading your guns, building guns, and whatnot. You will run out of it a lot if you are building all your guns from scratch. So I suggest just picking up all the metal you can at the beginning of the game. Chemicals, cloth, rubber, and plastic you also need a lot of, so just go ahead and start building up those stacks of it. Even though they don't look like they're rare materials, you need them a lot for like basic, for a lot of upgrades and stuff like that. So it's good just to go ahead and get a good steady supply of them. Also, you're gonna be wanting I don't have any at the moment, but power cells. So these things are power cells. I would go and start grabbing a bunch of these. Those and cloth are gonna be your two healing items, so you're gonna want a bunch of those. So once you start building your inventory of all your basic materials, you're going to want to try to get your workbenches up to max level. The most important ones being the refiner, the gunsmith, and the gearbench. Those three are going to be your three main ones that you want to max out as fast as you can, especially the refiner. So once you start getting a surplus of the basic materials, you can start using them to craft a higher level materials, like mechanical components, which are used for gun upgrades. They're basically used for all the level 3, level 4 guns. So you're going to want a large stack of these. You can kind of, if you have your workbench upgraded to level 3 already, the refiner, you can go in and you can see how many you have. This is what I do sometimes just to kind of see it easier. Usually these I like to keep around 80 in my inventory. These around 30. So these are used for making this, which is needed for augments, and then also for raider hatch keys, which can make your looting runs go faster. Durable cloth, you do need them for sterilized bandages and herbal bandages. Plus, you're gonna be coming out with a lot of cloth anyways. So once you get like 300 or 400 cloth, you can start putting. I usually like to keep around 200 cloth in my inventory, and then everything else usually you can just start throwing into durable cloth. That way, it starts saving some space. Mod components you don't really need until you start finding some blueprints for some level 3 attachments. So I think all the level 3 attachments require mod components. Before that though, you don't really need them, so unless you start finding level 3 attachments that you need, I wouldn't worry about them a bunch. You will find these blueprints later on. You want to find these pretty fast though. Blue Gate is usually a good run for these. Going into the bunker room down there with the breachable door. These are for just upgrading your guns, especially like the important guns need that you want usually require the medium or the heavy ones. Arc circuitry, you're gonna want to start bringing out some arc alloy just to build these. These are for your shields. So your shields start requiring these a bunch. You can also find these in like arc probes in arc husk. But a lot of the times it's just easier to come out with a bunch of arc alloy just to create these on the fly. Antiseptic for the Mullen, you have two options. Usually I like bringing some basic bandages and then a couple higher tier bandages. So you can either make this to make the sterilized bandages, or you can save the Mullen just to make the herbal bandages. Either are fine. I feel like they're both good, so it's up to you. The advanced mechanical components. So this one is used for some of the better guns in the game. They require mechanical components. The only issue is that they also require springs. Springs are probably the biggest bottleneck in the game. Springs are used for some of the really good attachments that you need. They're also used for mod components, which you need for the level 3 attachments. So for this, I would recommend not crafting them unless you really have to. You can find these in, I know, 2 storages that contain them pretty frequently, or the bus breaches. Like on Jam Battlegrounds, on the north side, there's a couple buses that you can breach the back of the bus and the sides of the bus. Those are found in there. Also, the green breachable containers on Stella Montez. I believe there's like a bunch in the loading bay on the second, and then the first floor, like side extract room. There's a couple of green breachable containers that spawn these as well pretty frequently. Like basically, it's a 50-50 chance that they have these. So for that reason, because you want to save the springs, I wouldn't recommend doing these unless you really need them to craft the guns. So these are the base materials that you need. Also these, if you can find a Wolfpack blueprint, that becomes pretty important. So usually I like to keep a few of those in there. These you don't really have to worry about unless you have a snap hook blueprint, or you have like a Bobcat or Tempest blueprint. Then you might start needing magnetic accelerators, but other than that, I wouldn't worry about these. So basically what you want to do is get the base resources, and then you want to start stacking the ones from the refiner. You need these. I need these a lot for upgrading guns, and also for these medium, light, and heavy gun parts. So I keep these and try to come out with them in the raid. Wires you need sometimes. These are from the server cabinets, so you need these for some weapon attachments. I believe that's the only thing. Magnets I need for accelerators, or not accelerators, I'm sorry, venators. So I keep a couple stacks of those. These for weapon attachments. So basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find what guns you want to use in your game. For me, I like the venators, anvils, puros, and berlettas. I think those are the best guns in the game. Also, kettles and pharaohs I use as well. But you're going to want to start building up a stash of these guns. So for the venators, you can see what you need for it. So the advanced electrical, medium gun parts, magnets. If you want to start building these, then you go in the raid and then you save these every single time. You can even track these resources so they have a little eyeball icon next to it, so you know to keep those too if it's easier for you. But You're going to want to see what guns you need. You're going to want to see what attachments you want on those guns. So for the Toro, I usually just use the basic ones. So rubber, duct tape, I need duct tape. Wires, I need wires. Duct tape again, and then springs. So I know I need to come out with those things to build the attachments and also upgrade the guns. You want to upgrade your guns to level 4. There's no reason not to. It makes the guns shoot faster. It tightens the dispersion. So you're always going to want to upgrade your guns to max. Here, I'll go step by step. So keeping blueprints just for friends need them. Seeds in this. Otherwise, if you're not worried about giving blueprints to your friends, just learn them and then you can sell them afterwards. I've already learned basically all of these. The only thing you want to keep in here is basically seeds or stuff for upgrading. Crafting materials, basically everything I showed you in the Refiner 3. Have all the basic materials and the stuff for upgrading the guns. Keys, the only ones I really keep are radar hatch keys. If you're a person that likes to do key rooms, you can keep your keys in here, but I noticed that I wasn't using them, so I just basically never pick up keys unless they're radar hatch keys, or I build the radar hatch keys. Quick use, only keep things in here that you are going to use. Bandages, never have enough bandages. Shield rechargers, you can never have enough shield rechargers. Adrenaline shots for like big maps like Dam and stuff where you have to run across the entire map. Adrenaline shots save you there. Couple of higher tier healing items, depending on what I'm wanting to bring in. These are for the medium shield 3s. I usually don't craft these, I just find them and then I bring them out if I need them because they're nice to have. Defibs for when I'm playing with my friends. Some really good healing is the Vita Spray and the Vita Shots, so you can keep those. Trigger grenades, jolt mines are going to be your PvP best utilities that you can have. For Arc, Wolfpack, and Secret Grenades are going to be your best utilities. I have this just for if I feel like deadlining a Bastion or Bombardier, and then I always keep snap hooks because snap hooks are always in my save pocket, best item in the game, hands down. These are just for trolling. Throw away your instruments unless you want to troll people when you kill them. Weapon attachments, I always keep this empty. The reason being is that whenever I do come out with attachments, I put them on my guns. It saves inventory space. If you have guns that have empty slots, and like, let's say for this kettle, for example, if I find a light extended mag, then I will put it on this kettle just to save a spot in your weapon mods. Ammo, I wouldn't keep a lot of excess ammo. It's okay to keep some, or if you just want to craft your ammo on the fly, that is also probably going to be the best case. I like keeping some just because I PvP and me and my boys die a lot, so it's nice to have just some extra ammo in the stash just to kind of come out quickly. Weapons, like I said, start building up your stack. Start maxing out your Toros, your Anvils, your Berlettas, whatever gun you're going to be wanting to main. Start maxing them out. Start getting a level 4, get all the attachments on them. And then that way you will always come in with guns that you are comfortable with. Anvils, for me, I always just throw the silencer on there just so I can fight arc easier. Toros, I always keep the level 1s on, so they are basically all the same. Only difference is maybe the Berlettas. I like the extended barrel, but sometimes I'll throw excess items that I had in my weapon mods on here, so once I find better guns to put these 2 attachments on, I'll probably put those on and then craft the extended long barrels. Shields and augments, keep these empty. It's okay to have like maybe like 1 backup in, but for the most part, just keep them empty. The reason being is that the 2, so for augments, for example, you need advanced electrical components, and then you also need processors. These 2 items stack, so if you make 1 augment, that's taking up one entire stash space. Where if you keep them uncrafted, which is the materials to craft them, those materials are stacking, so you can have more space in your inventory. So that's basically how you want to keep your stash. I will show you kind of what I do to recommend for starting to loot. So if you don't know already, Arc Raiders has aggression-based matchmaking. So what that means is if you are fighting and shooting people, you are going to be put in aggressive lobbies. If you don't shoot or kill anyone, you get put in friendly lobbies. Those are the lobbies you want to be in while you're looting. What I recommend for you starting off for the first maybe 5 matches, go in with a free kit. You're going to do that for the first 5, maybe to 10 matches until you start hearing people say friendly, or people are talking in general. You know you're in PvP lobbies because people just shoot on sight, don't say anything. Friendly lobbies, you'll go in and people will say friendly and like try to talk to you and ask questions. Once you start having people trying to talk to you and not shoot you, that's when you can start coming in with a kit. The kit that I recommend you come in with is a looting MK2. Light shield. Any weapon. I usually like usually the weapon that I bring in is a kettle with an extended mag, 100 bullets. I bring in 2 bandages, 2 shield rechargers. And this is basically a free kit, but you have a looting MK2, which has the most inventory spots in the game. So you have 2 extra spots from a looting MK survivor. You also have 3 augment slots, which you can fill with just trash items that you can sell. So basically any item that has the little they have a little diamond symbol you can put in here, and these stack a lot of the times. And then you also have 2 safe pockets. The safe pocket, you can bring in either a raider hatch key, or if you're just coming in for base material and you're in super friendly lobbies, you can save those safe pockets for the base materials. Like I usually recommend if you're running low on metal is always a good option, but if you're running low on something like, let's say, plastic, like just go ahead and put 2 slots of plastic in here. That way you're guaranteed to come out with plastic every single raid. Usually when I start the raid, whenever I find plastic, I'll put like 1 of each in this. That way it's guaranteed that once this fills up, it starts filling up this one. You're guaranteed to come out with plastic every single time, and that's how you start building up your common materials like that. Only other thing I'd probably recommend is maybe springs, or if you find the advanced electrical, or advanced mechanical, you can put those in there as well. Just stuff that you really need, keep in your safe pocket. Don't be afraid to use base materials, though. So yeah, that is basically how to manage your inventory. Just see what items you need for your guns to upgrade them. So, for example, I need advanced mechanical, medium gun parts, magnets. You can track these. Then to upgrade these, you can look. So, like, let's say this for example. To upgrade these, I need metal parts, plastic parts, metal parts, simple gun parts, mechanical components, simple gun parts. So I know I need to come out with some of those if I want to start upgrading the guns. You don't have to use the kettle, just whatever gun you want to use. Like for the Venator, for example, I know I need advanced mechanical components, medium gun parts, and then simple gun parts. So those are the things, or magnets, sorry, not simple gun parts. Those are the things I need to come out with to start building the Venator stashes. For Once you start finding the better augments, then you can start coming out with the materials you need for those augments. For example, I use this a bunch, so I know I need processors, I need electrical components every single chance I get. I need arc circuitry, I need batteries, I need processors and crude explosives to bring these in if I want to bring those in future raids. Mod components, steel springs for the Venator. Mechanical components, duct tape for the grip for the Venator. And then for healing, I need fabric, and I need power cells and rubber parts. So those are the items that I need for me personally for my raids. Yours will be different because you might not have some of the things that I have unlocked. So let's say, for example, you just want to come out with looting MK2s and light shields. So then start coming out with arc alloy plastic and electrical components and magnets. Electrical components you can make with these, so plastic and rubber. So you need a lot of plastic, a lot of rubber if you want to go that route. But yeah, that is basically the basics. So that will be the first part of the video. I can kind of show you how I kind of do my raids. So I'm most likely in aggressive lobbies. I'm like 90% sure I'm probably in aggressive lobbies right now, but we'll see what we can do. So like I said, for the beginning of the aggressive lobbies, to get out of them, just don't shoot people. You might have to die 5 to 10 times with free loadouts, but it's 100% worth it, because then you can start looting those really hard to find or hard to loot places that are super PvP heavy without having to worry about it. Like, there'll be times where I just don't even look at people. I can just run around, I hear someone running up behind me, I can still loot, save some time. Stella Montes is probably my favorite map. Probably the map I know the best for looting, for PvP in general. Here, I'll show you kind of my favorite spot. So we'll go to the loading bay. Oh, actually, that's not where I want to go. Friendly. Oh, maybe I am in friendly lobbies. We are 10 minutes late. So, for basic materials, loading bay, I feel like it's the best spot in the map. Oh, someone killed a shredder. They didn't loot him. So what I usually like doing is keeping one thing for power cells. Always keep these. These, if you didn't know, you can scrap into mechanical components. So, this is probably my favorite looting path in the game, because this has a lot of the things that you need for weapons and for leveling up those weapons and attachments. So you'll find a lot of springs, a lot of metal, crude explosives. So something I didn't say before is, if you are having a hard time knowing what to keep and what to scrap, hover over it. You see here how it says can be recycled into metal parts. If it says can be recycled, or it doesn't say what it's used for, like this says used for barrels, kettles, looting MK1, shield rechargers, stitchers. So you know that you need this to create some of those things. If it says can't be recycled, it's safe to recycle it. And you'll start learning after a while. So I like keeping some fabric and power cells in these 2 slots, along with my bandages and shield rechargers. That way it keeps some extra inventory space in here for other items. This room is really good. It's already breached. Rusty tools are amazing. A lot of people don't know this, but if you bring it out, if you scrap it in here, you only get 7 metal. But if you scrap it when you leave the raid, you actually get some springs, which, like I said, springs are the biggest bottleneck in the game. So this is a diamond, so I can go in those spots. If you need money, I like picking up canisters. They stack up to 15, so one slot can be worth a lot of money. Another thing, little trick I like to do is to keep the things I know I'm going to keep down low. Things I might throw away, I keep up top. That way, if I scrap something, or if I pick something up that needs to be scrapped, then I know that it is easily found up top. Like this, I know I need oil. And like you heard people talking, so you know I'm probably in friendly lobbies at this point. I know I needed plastic, so I'm actually going to keep the plastic in that slot. Blueprints, they have checkmark if you already have them. I like bringing them out just in case, like, I have extra slots because it's the easy $5,000. But you see how I already have one stack of metal. I'm starting a new stack. So basically what you're going to want to do is come around this whole top floor of this side. Once you get the whole top floor of this side, we're going to go to the other side. Another really nice thing about Stella Montes and friendly lobbies is that there is a bastion down here. A lot of times in friendly lobbies, people will use that to their advantage to kill the bastion. Someone kills the bastion, run down there and start looting with them. A lot of times there'll be a lot of just rats sitting up top just waiting for someone to kill the bastion. As soon as the bastion goes down, they jump down and just start looting like crazy. Because those give you those advanced mechanical components I was talking about. I'm trying to loot just as fast as I can, just in case. I keep one gun slot empty just so when I come out, I can put a gun slot in. This is so that if you find any attachments, you can put those attachments on the gun and save a space. So now we are done with that first side. Come to this side, just did all this. Start to try to make a little bit of room for some extra stuff. This side might already be looted. As you can tell, I pick up basically all the metal I can find. I also need oil to make crude explosives for wolf packs. Someone's got some. They might kill the bastion down there, so I'm going to be just waiting. If I hear that bastion go down, I'm jumping down and I'm looting the hell out of it. Might as well go ahead and say, I'm going to drop these because I have a bunch of those. Basically, if I jump down, I'm going to drop the top 8 items. That way I will have some loot, or enough space to loot the bastion down there. Okay. So now that we looted that top section, here's one of the secret areas I was talking about. Oh, I thought he was dead. Nice, perfect timing. Right, dropping this. We are looting the hell out of this.
Okay, if you guys found a high distributor,
We got lucky. this as fast as so. It's fucking gratin down here.
I think I found it mostly medical research, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the one I found was in medical. Yeah.
Grab these canisters. Okay, sorry. Little sidetrack there. I was trying to get it just as fast as I could. So 2 spots that you want to check before you go. Up here, in this room. These are the green. What's that, springs? We'll take those springs. These are the green breachable containers I was talking about. These are basically 50-50 if they contain advanced mechanical or regular mechanical. So this actually breaks down into mechanical, I believe, if you bring it out of the raid. You over cucumbered. See, advanced mechanical. So those save some springs. We don't need this. Is perfect. So you could search this room. Yeah, looks like it's already been hit. Search these. These usually have some good stuff. But there's one more green, or 2 more green containers, maybe 3 down here. So these are already hit. Just double check them. Don't think I have enough space. Perfect. Do we need any of those? But now you have a basic inventory full of stuff that you need. I need all this stuff. This area I really like because it's dark as hell back here. So if you're in aggressive lobbies, you can hide either right here or back in this corner and people have a hard time seeing you. The Raider hatch key, you don't really need it, but it is really nice. So probably the best money-making spot on this whole map is here in Assembly Workshop. You will get spawns here, here, and here sometimes. If you get those spawns at the beginning of the map, loot this area for the little drawers around these things. Loot the middle, loot this area for drawers around this rocket thing, and this area. Or I think there's only one drawer right here. Loot the 2 upstairs, and you can use that Raider hatch key right there. It's probably the best loot in the game. You usually come out with 100k as long as you're fast. There's also a couple weapon spawns, case spawns over there. Super nice. Okay, and I'll show you kind of what to do with your inventory once you come out. So, can be recycled into metal parts. The nice thing about this though is when you recycle it, you get springs. When you're in raid, you only get metal parts. Recycle those. We need these. These 2 we can sell. I already have this, so we can sell that. I will keep these. Recycle this for mechanical components. Recycle this for advanced mechanical. Simple gun parts. So we need all these things. And just like that, we came out with that raid with a bunch of materials that we needed. This loadout is really nice because it is only 11k, so it's not hurting the bank if you lose it. You never risk your Raider hatch key. yeah, that's basically it. Super easy way to kind of just build base materials, try to get in those friendly lobbies, going with a cheap loadout. Well, hopefully that has helped you guys with managing your inventory, maybe taught you a couple things you didn't already know. Um, Next videos I'm kind of planning on doing is maybe a PvP guide. I'm also trying to think of some more suggestions. So if you guys have any questions or any material that you guys want to have a video on, maybe need some help on, please post it in the comments down below. Thanks for stopping by, and hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. Good luck, Raiders.